Hi, my name is Julia Sales. I'm an assistant professor here at the Thrive Center, and I've had the honor of working alongside Natalia and Kevin and the Easy Bites team. When most people hear words like technology, accelerators, AI, data dashboards, their minds might not jump to early childhood systems, but they should. Easy Bites and I have been able to dive into exploring what it can look like to bring an impact-driven digital platform focused on responsive feeding and nutrition into one part of the early childhood systems of care, Head Start and early Head Start programs. I'm part of the Head Start family. It's where I started my career as an infant and early childhood mental health consultant and have the honor today of continuing the Thrive Center's decades-long legacy of supporting Head Start at the national level. For many of the 40 million children and families served over the last 6 decades, Head Start is home. Head Start is a community anchor. It's a place of safety, growth, support, and connection. Over the last 12 weeks, we've been able to navigate this sometimes complex system to really hear firsthand from families, educators, nutritionists, and health specialists that they're looking for access to high quality, evidence-based, responsive resources, support, and connection around nutrition and responsive feeding. Over 100 million meals are served annually in Head Start alone. 100 million meals. Children are eating 100 million meals just in Head Start. I want you to imagine for a second the impact, what it could look like, what it could feel like, what it could mean for children and families and educators if they had access to a responsive feeding coach. Someone who's not only supporting educators and program staff, but is directly connecting back to families to ensure that mealtime is child-led, that it's interactive, that it's joyful, that it's low pressure, and that it's rooted in connection instead of mealtime battles. It's my firm belief that early childhood does relationships better than anyone. And we know that when we're able to leverage the power of relationships with the smartest technology, we're able to unlock the futures that all young children and families deserve. And with that, I am thrilled to introduce you to Easy Bites.
Like many of the fellow founders in this room, I have a personal connection to the problem that we're trying to solve at Easy Bites, so I will start with a story. 18 years ago, I stood in my own kitchen, staring at yet another meal that I spent 1 hour preparing go completely untouched. To be fair, I was in my last year finishing my nutrition program, master's program in nutrition, and I couldn't get my own child to eat. And when our kids don't eat, it stirs something inside of us. It's so scary. And for me, who had all this nutrition knowledge in my head and couldn't find a way to get this pale child with dark circles under her eyes eat any of this nutritious food I prepared, that felt especially scary. But that moment was very useful because it taught me something that actually changed my career and guided it since then. I learned that families need support in how to feed their kids, not just in what to feed their children. Knowledge isn't enough. Even with all the education, support, and privilege I had back then, I still felt extremely confused, lost, and very anxious. And it's easy to imagine how millions of caregivers and parents in this country and around the globe must feel at mealtimes with their children who refuse to eat. My name is Natalia Stasenko. I'm a pediatric dietitian and founder of Easy Bites, a digital platform and consumer app that helps families and professionals, families and professionals support children's eating through responsive feeding practices and personalized meal planning. I'm here with my colleagues, our product lead, Kevin Norton, and pediatric dietitian, Sarah Griffin. The thing is, something that not everybody knows, that children aren't picky by choice. Quite often they navigate sensory differences developmental milestones, and, like in case of my own daughter, neurodiversity. However, parents often get blamed and professionals just don't have any tools to support them. And as a result of this misunderstanding, even a seemingly simple problem feels completely unsolvable. But when we reach those families with the right tools, evidence-based support, we can do so much. We can prevent these feeding issues from escalating to the extreme degree. We can prevent nutritional deficiencies and reduce the risk of weight dysregulations. So from this moment back then in my kitchen, I knew that I wanted to do something to support those families who feel just as lost and confused as I did back then. And during my first rotation as a pediatric dietetic intern at Head Start, I saw something completely magical. I saw responsive feeding in action. So I saw these little kids sitting at their little tables and participating in family-style meals, serving food on their own plates, really enjoying it, having a good time, but also learning their autonomy and learning about connection at mealtimes. And this experience, combined with my own struggles and learnings as a parent, inspired me to eventually create Easy Bites with my team, so that responsive feeding and evidence-based support is not limited only to those who can afford expensive private therapy. We just happen to find the right advice online.
At Thrive, our milestone was mapping how technology, psychology, and family engagement can integrate into early childhood systems to make responsive feeding scalable, measurable, and equitable. We found out how we can improve family engagement through creating direct connection between programs and families and streamline performance reporting on the ground. Over these 3 months, we confirmed that our mission aligns with state and national goals around child well-being, nutrition, and responsive feeding, and how our toolset can help bridge the implementation gap between Head Start classrooms and family homes. Ongoing training, workshops, and cooking classes are fundamental, but we need to turn this knowledge into a sustainable, easy to implement solution when dealing with feeding kids in classrooms or in family homes. The Easy Bites digital coach can guide professionals through day-to-day mealtime scenarios, help make data-driven decisions to optimize referrals, resource allocation, and ensure continuing support for complex cases. This day-to-day support is especially important in an environment with high staff turnover, high risk of burnout, and continuous need for staff onboarding. We're deeply grateful to the Thrive Center team and our advisors for helping us refine our strategy. These unique insights our team is so proud to present at our booth later today and to discuss with you were only possible because we were fortunate enough to work with the best in the class, experts and thought leaders, equally obsessed with the best outcomes for children, families, and the bigger village supporting them, just like you are.
So come to our booth so we can discuss how our responsive feeding coach can support your child-centered missions. Thank you.
Does a great job of setting up
I know. That was really smart.
I think it varies based on season of parenting, especially like the stages you get through. I think
It definitely starts from the teenagers.
Something options.